In this video, I'm going to be comparing the 9.5-inch slicing knives from Shun under their Premier line and Miyabi under their Kaizen line. Both of these knives are handmade in Japan, but the Shun uses an automated handmade process, while the Miyabi is completely and totally handmade, and it really shines through in terms of the quality of the knife. Every single edge has been rounded out and polished out, so it feels very, very smooth and finished. Even down here, it's been completely rounded and polished. And the handle where everything meets together is completely and totally flush. By contrast, the Shun has 90-degree angles at the edges of the blade and down here, and it's actually a little bit sharp down here. I can feel it right now. It has a little burr. And the actual handle is not flush in the least. You can feel almost a 0.5 millimeter of a step when you're touching the metals here. So I think that's a little bit irritating, especially with a high-end knife like this. The actual knives in terms of cutting material are very, very similar. The Miyabi uses a VG10 core, which is the gold standard 60 hardness, and the Shun uses VG Max, which is a little bit harder at 61, but the actual cutting angle is very, very different. The Shun is cut to a 16-degree angle, which is very, very sharp, but the Miyabi is ground down to a crazy sharp 9-degree at its thinnest. So it's roughly 50% thinner than the Shun, and that's done because they use a 3-step hand sharpening process, and it really makes a difference in terms of how sharp the knife is. The Miyabi is also a little bit thinner in terms of the height of the blade, which means it's going to be much less drag. And I think that's very, very useful for a slicing knife where you want to go all the way through in one cut without having any serrations or striations in the meat. The actual blades are both Damascus clad. The Miyabi has a 32-layer Damascus pattern on it, while the Shun has a 34-layer Damascus pattern plus a hammered finish on the top. So it's definitely a bit more, I guess, flashy, and some people do like that. I know I personally love hammered finishes on knives. Both have full tangs. The Shuns go through this brown pakkawood handle, which is a compressed resin-filled wood, while the Miyabi's goes through this composite handle, the black composite handle, and I think it looks beautiful. And really, when it comes down to fit and finish, yes, the edges are rounded, yes, it's perfectly flush, yes, the Shun has a stamped logo in the back, which really sort of shows where the metal has been pushed away, while the Miyabi has a carved finish, which is very nice and crisp and clean. But what really, really makes that final sort of notch is this little thing right here. This pin is actually not one piece, but it's about 15 to 20 little pieces of bronze and silver and copper that have been placed together in a mosaic pattern and pressed directly into the handle. So you can tell someone has really put a lot of heart and soul into this knife. And I think considering how much sharper it is, considering the amazing fit and finish on this knife, and considering that it's actually cheaper than the Premier, this thing is definitely my choice between the two. I'll put a link down to it below. If you guys have any questions, any comments, or any concerns, as always, let me know. And otherwise, I will talk to you very soon.